Okay, let's take a look at the first game up for review and the teams as they come to hand. It is Fremantle up against the Blues at home. Thank you to sportsbet.com.au. Fremantle $2.15 at home. Carlton $1.71. Jono, you got the Fremantle team.
Yeah, the Inns big Griffin for Sandilands and Fife back in as well for Subin. So it'll be interesting to see if Fife gets through a full game. The confidence there from Fremantle to play. And they're certainly beaten in most areas of the game last week, but they showed a real toughness to grind out a win away from home. Stephen Hill was the excitement machine for myself last week because he was tagged quite heavily in the first half. Second half, Jones went to him again and he was able to break that tag, and it was the first time I've been able to see Stephen Hill grind through that sort of attention from the opposition and really get on top. That was fantastic.
He separated the two teams in the end, didn't he?
He did. It was his run and speed through the lines that certainly broke that game open in Fremantle's favour. McFarlane's in very good form. He restricted Rewalt last week. Probably gets Jared Waite this week, so another big job for McFarlane. They've outscored their opposition by 55 points from clearances. So everyone's saying about Sandilands and his hits to advantage aren't great, but as a group, they're actually scoring a fair bit from clearances. So the negative, they've also got some positives in that area of the ground.
Pickers, let's take a look at the Blues.
Yeah, well, the Blues team, obviously they've made a few changes, which is interesting. Good to see Andrew Walker back. He's one of those players that's, I think, really important to their setup. Thornton comes back in defence. Russell's been out of the side, but he's actually a very important player in my view. Arnfield and Joseph will give him a bit of run. Yaron they'll miss. Karatse's a really interesting player as well. Look, the Blues have got a decent record on the road, which is a good thing. They've won 5 of their last 6 interstate trips because they'll need to be somewhere near the top of their game after, I thought, a really, really ordinary performance where they were out-hunted for the footy by Essendon last week. And the Bombers, but just to be honest, made them look a little bit slow, which we know they're not. I watched them in the final last year against the West Coast over at Patterson Stadium. They were very, very good. I think their midfield depth will really test Fremantle, especially without Sandilands. For mine, I think it was a wake-up call they needed because I think they were skating along a little bit, the Blues, after a big win over Collingwood. Not saying the players were starting to think like that, but there was certainly that big buzz around about the Blues. So to come out last week and get woken up by Essendon, I think was a good thing for their club, and I think they'll travel really well.
Well, let's go back 12 months. If I thought Henderson was going to be named at centre-half back ahead of Bauer, I'd say you're completely nuts. But he's kept Bauer out of the side now. Bauer's an emergency and has played reasonable football up until this point in time as well. Let's take a look at the... Oh, OK, tips, boys?
I'm going Freo. Yep, Freo over
Yeah, I'm the same with you, Shorey. I think Freo. Sandilands evens it up a little bit, but yeah, Freo just.
Not for me. It's a real tough one.
No, I'm going for Carlton. I think Carlton, if we were on them a week ago, they've had one bad game and they'll bounce back pretty strong.
Well, Carlton are the better team, but just over there it's hard to travel. I'm going to go home team. Home team. When in doubt, go the home